Do you think that Karl Marx hurt the black community and his ideology hurt the black community more than Jim Crow segregation?
I have to think that through.
I agree with you that the language and the rhetoric matters. I'm not disagreeing with you. And I didn't say that Trump hadn't been, there was an attempt at Trump's killing before. I was simply saying that if Kimmel had done this right after this shooting, it would be in poor taste. Yes, the shooting happened months ago and another shooting happened a year or so ago. I'm with you. I don't like any of the violent language, but it's an off-color joke that I don't think leads to the violence. When you look at the guy's manifesto, when you read why he was outraged, I don't think he's being motivated by political comedians. I think he's being motivated by the political climate. And if we're going to talk about that, then we have to talk about the language that all of us use, Democrats and Republicans. The language we use to talk about Palestinians, the language we use to talk about shithole countries in Africa, the language we use to talk about low IQ politicians. All of it can lead to violence. And guess what? It's not just happening from Democrats. It's happening from everybody. So let's calm it all down, but let's not pretend every time we criticize Trump, we're enabling killers.
No, okay, Jojo. I digress.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say a couple of things. Donald Trump has pardoned and or commuted the sentences of 1,600 plus people who attacked our Capitol on January 6th. They're looking to vacate the criminal convictions of the people who coordinated that attack. But as a personal anecdotal story here, Donald Trump made jokes about Paul Pelosi's attack. Donald Trump has repeatedly made jokes about Paul Pelosi's attack. I'm a mom of two. I'm a single mom of two. About a couple of months after Paul Pelosi's attack, in conjunction with one of Donald Trump's jokes, I got a series of text messages with pictures of my home. And then in short order, I got a phone call from someone who sounded like they were in the car and said to me, "We know you're home. We know your kids are home. We are going to Paul Pelosi you next." That was on the heels of a joke that Donald Trump had made about Paul Pelosi. So please spare me this performative pearl clutching about how it is only people on the left when no one on that side is willing to hold him accountable for jokes like that, for rhetoric like that. I experienced that personally. I had to call my own police department. I had to call the FBI. I had to live in perpetual, and still do, perpetual fear of violence against myself and my children. And Donald Trump owns that. So to pretend that he is above the fray here and that this is the Jimmy Kimmels of the world and it's not landing squarely at his feet, then I'm sorry, but that just doesn't pass the smell test.
There's a difference between.
Hang on. Yeah, Jack, you go on.
No, I was just saying that I mean, I feel horrible for that. My family's been swatted as well. And the point that we're making is that you should be able then to call for a tone down of the rhetoric on all sides. That's why we're not giving Jimmy Kimmel a pass. Well, you just did give Jimmy Kimmel a pass, and you didn't even condemn the killer himself when I pointed out that he was retweeting you.
Doing a sketch ahead of an event, an event that is notorious for public criticism of the person who is in the executive branch. We're talking two different things. Jimmy Kimmel didn't advocate for somebody to kill Donald Trump. Donald Trump made jokes about Paul Pelosi being hit in the head with a hammer.
See, it's all partisan. It's all one.
You're drawing a false equivalency. Why can't you say that Donald Trump was wrong? Was Trump wrong?
You saying Jimmy Kimmel is not wrong, but you saying Donald Trump made a joke.
Exactly. You said Donald
Trump right or wrong? He's the president of the United States of America. He's not a comedian on ABC.
No, do you accept that as a joke?
Was Donald Trump right when he said that Mike Pence should have been hanged? Was Donald Trump right in commuting the sentences of the 1,600 people who had involvement in an attack on our Capitol? Was Donald Trump right to say
why don't we agree this? Okay, time out. Why don't we agree? Why don't we all try? Hang on, please. Why don't we all try and agree this? Why don't we all agree that when acts of violence or attacks on politicians in particular occur, the first reaction is not to claim because it's the other side it must be staged. And Brandon, I have to say, when Ilhan Omar was sprayed at a recent event with an unknown substance, you said this. Let's take a look.
Yesterday.
The bottom line is that I'm looking at this impartially. I don't know what anybody said. I saw the video, and it does not look consistent with someone trying to assault another person, which means I have never in my life seen a person get up, spray something out of a syringe at someone's chest. It happened to be nothing inert. And then she comes after him. You didn't see her back away from him. You didn't see her shy away from him. You didn't see any of that
Brandon,
nature.
you would
and
say,
the guy didn't even resist.
Brandon, you would say, Brandon, you would say the complete opposite if that was a Republican congressman.
That's not true.
One shift later.
So that debate we had then, Brandon, I do think.
Hang on. Officer down.
Now, joining us, special guest, Brandon Tatum. You know him well. He's a former police officer with Tucson PD. That's what impresses me. What impresses a lot of other people is he is the star of The Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us tonight. Question to you. You interviewed, as we played at the get-go, several of Nolan's friends. Did they show you photos, videos, snaps of that day on Horn Island?
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me on. I spoke to 4 of the boys that are originally accused of being involved in Nolan Wells' death. And they did show me a lot of evidence. I want people to be very clear with this. I spent my career putting people in jail. My career is based on getting justice for people who have been done wrong. I've never been a defense attorney. So me going out and doing this was to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And in talking to these young men, the burden of proof is they're going to have to prove to me. I'm not going to listen to what they say out of their mouth. They're going to have to show me. And in many cases, they showed me videos of Nolan on the island. They showed me videos of the boat when they were getting towed out, which is consistent with, kind of similar to what the phone call was. I mean, they showed me pictures of them with Nolan. They showed me phone records of them calling Nolan's mom and all of the above. So they seemed very consistent. They seemed very genuine. And they also proved to me some of the things that they had told me in the interview that I had with them that I have uploaded on my YouTube channel.
Officer Tatum, are you telling me that they had reception on Horn Island? Because many people are saying, well, the reason that there's nothing on Nolan's phone of that day, like there's no pictures, there's no snaps, there's no text, there's no anything, not because it was deleted, but because he didn't have reception. But you're telling me the other boys did have snaps, photos, videos, and reception?
Yeah, no, Nancy, let me clarify this for you. It wasn't that they uploaded this online. They showed me videos and things that they took from the boat during the outing on 4th of July. I was personally out at Horn Island. I rode out there on a boat, and I didn't have great reception there. And I left my phone in the boat when I got into the water and we were actually going out to do interviews.
Objection. You've been in court long enough to know you're gonna get objections. You said you didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
Hang on. Officer down.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph. And from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's
test
from
but
what
one.
you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not. So then the answer to
did they take a polygraph would be no.
Hang on. Officer down.
Did the young men you interviewed, I believe it was 4 of them, state that Nolan did not have reception, or did they explain why there are no pictures, texts, instance, nothing on his phone? Did they have an explanation for that?
Yes, ma'am. They didn't mention anything about whether Nolan had service or not, but they articulated the reason why Nolan may not have, certain pictures on his phone. And they had mentioned because Nolan spent the night at their house the night before, because it's traditional for the last few years that they actually went to Horn Island together. But they were saying that they had taken pictures at the house. Some of the pictures that you've seen floating around online were pictures that they took on the boat, but they didn't take those pictures when they got out there to Horn Island because they were having fun. And I would argue that they were drinking, and I couldn't imagine that they want to get underage drinking on camera. So what they had articulated to me that it wasn't abnormal for people not to snap and not to do a lot of pictures and things like that because they were focused on
But you
being
told me
off of the
they
mainland.
showed you pictures and videos.
Yeah,
so
but
they
it's
did
not
take
uploaded.
pictures and videos.
No. It's not a lot of pictures and they weren't uploaded. So when you're talking about Snapchat, you're talking about a platform where people are uploading images and pictures to produce to the world. What they showed me were things that they had recorded on their phone, and it wasn't a lot of different things because most of what they did was drinking and having fun in the water. And so, what they had articulated to me as well is that it's not abnormal for people not to snap. It's not abnormal for you not to have your phone. And Nolan wasn't the only person that left his phone on the boat. They also mentioned to me, and you could see it in the interview that they did, was that they had no reason to touch Nolan's phone. They weren't thinking about Nolan's phone when they thought the boat was sinking. And when they got to the house, it was no incident when it comes to Nolan getting the phone back to the friend and parent.
You're going far afield from my question. Let me redirect you back to their phones. Nolan has nothing on his phone. They have pictures and videos on their phones. You told me that they exist, whether they posted them or not. So they were taking pictures and videos. Don't you see why the mom, Nolan's mom, is concerned there's nothing on her son's phone?
Well, Nancy, it's unclear exactly what the mother is articulating, because at one point she's concerned that there's not a lot of Snapchats or social media posting. She did not articulate, or the Benjamin Crumb did not mention that there's nothing on his phone. So they're not saying that the phone was wiped and there's no images or anything. She was concerned about his social media frequency, which I believe after talking to the boys, it was consistent with what they said, and it was consistent with basic deductive reasoning that maybe he didn't post a lot on that day. So what remains a focus for me, and if I was investigating this
Not
case,
talking about
I
posting.
would want to know.
Not talking about whether he posted, officer.
No,
he didn't
what
even
I'm saying
take
is
anything.
that
there's no pictures, there's no anything.
That's what the mom is saying, but we haven't had an opportunity to either see or hear exactly what she's trying to articulate. Some of the things that she said in the media is that she's talking about posting. I don't believe she said that there was nothing at all on his phone, no pictures, no nothing. But I wasn't able to verify that. So if I was able to see Nolan's phone and the mother was able to show me exactly what she's articulating, I'll be able to have a better perspective in comparison to what Warren and the other boys were telling me. So at this point, I only have one side of it, and then I have a fractured perception from what the media or what the mother is saying in the media. So when the police officers look at his phone and they do a forensic extraction, if they're allowed to do that, they will see plainly if Nolan was on his phone, if he had taken pictures, and if they were deleted. Now, I'll implement this as we begin to try to guess and figure out what was happening on that day. It doesn't seem to be reasonable to suggest that the boys were in his phone deleting things. Now, after hanging out with the boys and getting to know them well, they're very intelligent young men, very savvy, and they were raised well. I would project, if I were to make an assumption, that if they were trying to cover up something that happened to Nolan, I would perceive that they would throw the phone in the water or something where it never would be recovered. Or if they had access to get into the phone, they wouldn't just delete, they would just completely rewrite the phone or, do a hard reset. Or they wouldn't give the phone back to mama or the family anyway. So with those factors put in place and what I've talked to them about, it seems as if their story seems consistent to me, that they did not get in the phone, they did not know his password, they had no reason to believe that there was a necessity to get in the phone,
officer,
and they gave it
I'm
over
not
to the
saying
family.
you're wrong. I'm saying I'm not taking anybody's word for anything until I investigate it and corroborate it. Again,
that's fair.
Maybe they're completely innocent. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Or maybe someone else had something to do with Nolan's death. I don't know, but I will find out. And you said, I don't know what she said exactly. Well, here is what Nolan's mother said.
When we opened it up, there was nothing. There were no saved pictures. There were no snaps from that day. And we did open it before the 24-hour expiration. So we found that very concerning, only because anyone who's ever been around Nolan will tell you at social gatherings, he's taking videos, he's taking pictures, he's even come up to me when I'm getting ready to go to bed, hey Ma, come on, take a picture of me. You know, like he just, that was Nolan. So that's why we feel that things may have been deleted, was because of the fact that there was nothing in either one of his accounts.
Hang on.
Officer down! Officer down! Officer down!
Are we on the same page of what happened in the Tulsa riots?
Well,
Tulsa race war?
It depends. What do you think happened?
Well, I know what happened. There was a conflict between black and white people. There was a fight between the two. White people got the best of black people in Tulsa.
Everybody, I'd like you to meet the future representative of our raccoon outreach program. Please give a warm Dunder Mifflin welcome to Mr. Tatum. Tough crowd.
The inappropriate behavior with a woman. There was a conflict that occurred. The first shots rang out from black people, shooting and killing several white people.
There is something special about you, Judah. There is something special about you, Israel, or Yashara'al. When I say Judah, Yahwadah. That is the ancient pronunciation of the word. There is something special about you, Judah. Yahweh only spoke to you, to us, as a nation. And he spoke to no other nation. That's why we are supposed to be what? That light. We're Yah's chosen people that's separated. We're supposed to be the nation that's teaching the nations, not the nations teaching us.
Lion of Judah come upon the earth, bringing unquenchable fire. All the tribes of Israel and the believers stand in power. Speak with authority, worship uncontrollably. There's something about you, Judah. Fire upon the kingdom of darkness. We may suffer for a little while, but joy cometh in the morning.
Judah special, no wonder we were a chosen vessel. In and out of captivity, weaving like a pretzel. Messiah come through the tribe, clean out the bloodline. We disciples, so put us up on the front line. Face to face with crime, cause we ain't scared to grind. When you connect the divine, we stay pressed for time. Evangelize, keep the fine, put us in prison in. Worship first, can we always invite the spirit in. Call revival through a pen, stacking souls in empty bins. Joy in the morning, this a warning, you will never win. Fire upon the head of the serpent, he makes tail chirping. It's too late cause your tail's already burning. I don't want your riches, gotta match it with gold streets. Rubies all around me, the light shine, no police. The living used to be deceased, resurrected to a feast. Nothing like being in peace at the table with the meat.
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.